welcome back to Keep Making Art. I'm Mrs. Doles, and today we're going to talk about my favorite artist, Georgia O'Keeffe. She was a 20th century American artist famous for her zoomed-in flowers. She knew she wanted to become an artist at a very young age of 12 years old. She also taught art as a public school teacher in Texas from 1912 to 1914. In 1916, she got her first female gallery show. She gained popularity in about the 1940s. So think about what that means as an artist of that time, a female artist of that time, and really paving the way for other female artists to be taken seriously in the art world. She's known as the mother of American modernism. She's also really known for her abstract shapes, most of all her flowers, her skyscrapers of New York City, and skulls of animals, and her Southwest landscapes where she lived and painted for many years. Let's take a look at some more zoomed-in Georgia O'Keeffe flowers for examples. This painting sold for $44 million. Now let's take a look at some realistic succulents as our inspiration for our assignment. We'll be looking at the shapes of the leaves and the colors and values and create our own. We're going to start in the center of the succulent plant. Notice that the shapes are asymmetrical or kind of random. You really need to see how the plant starts to get you started. Then the leaves become more symmetrical as they grow out and overlap. Notice that my leaf shape is kind of like a heart without the top. And they start to get larger as they expand out and go to the edges of the paper. Fill the entire paper with your leaves of the succulent plant. We're going to start with our green pencil, and we're going to put a series of different values on each of these leaves. This is going to take a really long time, so you don't have to sit and do this all at one time. If you need to take breaks, take breaks. This took me 45 minutes to do the entire flower, so I had to take some breaks because my fingers were killing me. So as you see me going, you'll notice that I'm putting in my different values. The first layer needs to be very smooth, and it needs to be kind of on the light pressure side. You still should be able to put in different values where you're showing a dark, a middle, and a light. Your dark areas where your leaf it's going inside the flower and there's very little light, and the leaf coming out should have a middle value, and as the leaf goes all the way to the tip, you should have your lightest value. So make sure that you are leaving kind of a white highlight or between each leaf. That's going to really pop this flower off the page later when we're done. So don't put all of the green edges together where you lose your leaves as they are kind of compiled on each other. So very smooth, contoured to the shape, dark, middle, and light values all together. Have fun and take breaks if you need them. Here we're going to start with our second color. It's just blue, but as you see me layer it into the green, you'll see that the blue helps the green have a lot of depth. I'm still leaving green because my plant is going to be green at the end, but I'm putting in the blue as kind of my shadows. So really focus on where the shadows would be for your values and fade it out onto the green. But it is just a very light layer of blue on each petal. You continue to do this on every single petal, focusing on the deep area of where the light would not hit, and put in those dark values overlapping your green, being careful that it doesn't turn too blue. So this is pencil number 2 layer. You can see it really adds some depth to put in just that blue layer on top of the green. And you can see it changing right before your eyes. So here's our unexpected color, red. Why would I use red on a green flower? Well, I think you know, it's the complementary color of green, which is going to neutralize some of that green and add even more depth and shadow into the creases. Where I don't have too much green, the red is going to allow for kind of this pinkish hue that kind of is on each of my petals of my plant. So it's giving it a little bit more added texture, added color. I'm very careful in my application to not add too much red. It's just a hint. So this part's going to go really quickly. I'm just putting it a little bit over the green, a little bit in the lighter values, and definitely on each of the tips to show kind of that pinkish hue. Now it's time to add this warm color of yellow. This is going to allow for those petals to really pop off the page. Warm colors make images look like they're coming forward, and cool colors make things look like they're going back or receding into the background. So this warm application of yellow on each petal, carefully applied, is going to really pop these petals off the page. For my last layer, I'm going to take the green pencil again and I'm going to lightly go over each petal, making sure to blend all of those other colors that I added on top of each other. This way, my petals will look unified as one green plant, but with different values and shading within each petal. With only using 4 of these 6 colors, you were able to create a zoomed in succulent plant with many different layers of colors and value changes. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.